Hey yo guys, I'm back here to, well, wasn't really planning on being back here today. Planned on, just taking the day off today, do some other stuff. But then, and I plan on coming back tomorrow with my reviews of, the UFC Fight Night 17 card, Showtime Championship Boxing's Darchinian versus Arce bout, and the TNA Against All Odds pay-per-view. But then find out that we have, a 1980s, a 70s, 1980s incident taking place at the Raw ECW house show in Victoria, British Columbia, involving Chris Jericho and two douchebag fans. I mean, I don't even think douchebag is the word to describe these fans. I don't understand how in 2009, with, the internet and basically the WWE, and most of the companies basically, kind of making mention that this business is a work. I think everyone knows that this business is a work, and, it's, I don't want to say fake. I hate saying fake, but it's scripted. Let me put it to that. It's scripted. I think that's the best way to put it, because there are injuries and all that aspect. But anyways, with Chris Jericho and this douchebag thing, yes, this is a whole Mid-South, incident, because in Mid-South, the heels, whatnot, they would get attacked in the parking lot by the fans because, there was, Mid-South fans were just insane, and the heels just had so much heat. It's the same thing happened with the WWF in the 80s as well. Same with, in Crockett. Same thing type happening here. But to me, I just can't believe this is happening now. For those of you who don't know the story goes like this. At the house show, Jericho, the promo, basically saying that he's not really from Canada, that, he's from, probably said from New York, since his dad played with the Rangers. And, because Jericho's just, so well on delivery of a promo, probably the fans believed it. A lot of the fans obviously did. If you've seen the cell phone videos where they're saying, "You're a disgrace to Canada," like, no, he's fucking Canadian. Idiots. Unfucking believable. I can't believe this is happening. I'm just enraged with how stupid wrestling fans, not only wrestling fans, but Canadian wrestling fans are for this. Just insane. Anyways, he cuts this promo, whatever they have, John Cena, and Randy Orton have their Triple Threat match, go 16 minutes, what have you. But then after that, as, most of the fans do after the show, they wait to see the wrestlers leave, whatnot, maybe get a picture and an autograph, whatnot. I've done it a couple times at, WWF house shows, WWE house shows as well, a TNA house show as well, and a WCW house show back in the day when WCW was still around. But anyways, I'm not... Anyways, let's get to the story here. I'm rambling here. Anyways, Jericho's leaving. The fans heckle him, still giving him heat, I guess, for about the promo and whatever. What have you not. So he leaves, he gets in his rented car, SUV, drives off, and then some fan starts to knock on the car, and Jericho's like, "No, what the fuck is this? This is absolute bullshit." Because it is. I mean, that is not his property, that car. He is going to return that, and, he can't afford, he doesn't need to have any damage happening. He can obviously afford it, but he doesn't need any extra damage and what have you, especially in this economy. So Jericho gets out, stops in the middle of the road, or he stopped at a stop sign. This is when the fan happened. He got out, and, the fan and him were having this little chit-chat thing. And then, the fan kind of gets all up in Jericho's space, and, it looks like he tries to attack Jericho. And Jericho, in self-defense, pushes him back. He apparently punches a girl right in the face. And people are all up in arms like, "Oh my god, he punched a girl." Well, in reality, it looked like, the girl got up in his face. He even spit in Jericho's face, which is just absolutely unfucking called for. You don't do that to anyone. It's, yeah, this is after the show and what have you, but Chris Jericho is a human being, okay? He did nothing to you other than do his job in the house show. So he does that, and, the security, by the way, at this arena, I can't remember the name of it here in, or there in British Columbia, and Victoria, British Columbia, which is absolutely incompetent. I guess they must have thought this whole thing was a work tape for TV or something. Don't know, but they were so horrible. It wasn't even funny. This fan tried to attack Jericho at least 2 more times. Some fans even, I guess, pushed him up against the SUV, hit the back of his head, and that's when he lost it. Just knocked the fans down, started screaming at the security to do their job, as they should have. And then, eventually the whole thing is over. It's pretty intense for the, for a 5-minute little whole ordeal. I've seen some cell phone videos. There's the key part of, the knocking on the fan, on the vehicle part. That's not there. what have you, then Jericho drives away. But my opinion of this is just wow. People, you have to understand that this is completely different from frickin' Chris Jericho on Monday Night Raw TV or at a house show. This is Chris Jericho, I'm just leaving my shift. Would you like someone to heckle you at the end of your shift? It's just straight out of Seinfeld. I mean, that's what they should do. Just go to your job. That's what Chris Jericho should do. The next time you do your job, he should just heckle you and get in your face for doing a terrible job or being an asshole, what have you not. That's just my opinion there. To me, you don't have the right to touch a wrestler. Even at the show, you do not have the right to do this. The more recent incident of this would be at the Final Battle 2008 Ring of Honor show when some jackass decides to push Austin Aries. Now, to me, Austin Aries is a very personal guy. He likes to have his personal space, as I think everyone does have his personal space, but some people, value that personal space more so than others. Aries is one of those people. And, he made that little heel turn there, and the fan got in it, and I just can't believe that a Ring of Honor fan, because, I can't believe wrestling fans, a lot of them, especially with Ring of Honor, are internet fans, decide to get in people's grill, and not understand what the fuck is happening as a work, pushes Aries, which you do not have the right. You do not have the right to push a wrestler. You do not have the right to touch them. If you stick your hand out and they touch it, that's fine. That is something they choose to do. But you do not have the right to touch someone who, is laying their body out on the line for your being. For you paid to see them entertain. You don't try and, be the show, which, that fan obviously did. Here, Chris Jericho is a person. He's leaving his shift, basically, at work. I've said this before, and, right now he's a civilian. He's not someone at work and what have you. You wouldn't do that to someone in the middle of a stop sign. That's just insane. Apparently, there's some charges could be pressed due to the fact that he hit a woman, but to me, the cell phone videos are going to show this is a whole self-defense issue. I will give Jericho all the credit in the world. He was, defending his own. He was pretty cool, calm and collected there. He could have raged before. Don't touch my car. Have you ever had your car be touched by someone you don't want it to be, touched, what have you? And that's not even his car. That's another thing that we have to take in consideration. I'm just, amazed about this. And I think the thing that's even more amazing is this was the first WWE house show in the province of Columbia in 5 years. And so, these two fans have potentially fucked themselves out of house shows forever. Because, why would they want to go there? They're just going to get, their wrestlers could potentially get attacked for doing nothing, by the way. It's not like Jericho did anything to these fans at the show to, provoke an attack, what have you. He was just being Jericho, the amazing heel that won him Wrestler of the Year in many people's eyes. So, I can't believe that's happening in today's society. With all the internet technology and all that aspect, we do know this is a work, people. His business is a work. He is paid to be a heel. That's just me. I'm just in shock about that. But, I guess the other thing I wanted to make mention of is the fact that, a controversial wrestler from the 80s, kind of nice little tie-in there, but, Jim Wilson, who, for those of you that don't know about Jim Wilson, I think, most people won't know about him, but anyways, Jim Wilson was a guy who worked with, NWA's Georgia Championship Wrestling territory. He even worked in Australia, what have you not. Anyways, the promoter down there with Australia, Barnett, made, a sexual advance at Jim Wilson. To which, Jim Wilson obviously denied, since he's not a homosexual. And, he felt that, his push got diminished, and, the word, since the NWA is, was the shit, or, I shouldn't say, you know what I mean, it was, so close together, this word got spread by Jim Barnett saying, oh, he's a bad person, what have you not, told everyone in every territory, and then, they basically, got, buried him, Jim Wilson then said that, he had to hurt himself with, blade jobs, but, I don't think that's a big deal. Blading was pretty big, well, wasn't pretty big, but, it was common use that there would be blading, what have you. So Jim Wilson's a pretty big, important person. He's one of the first people to come out and say that professional wrestling is a work. It's not real. It's scripted. So this guy, him so much heat, within the business, he got blackballed from the business, whatever. There's incident with him on the Robert Downey Jr. show with, the likes of, like, people are arguing, trying to keep the business intact. I mean, this is the same point, I believe around WrestleMania 2, 3, from 85 to 87 time frame is where I'm going to put it in here. And you got, the likes of Dr. David Schultz on there, Captain Lou, one of the NWA promoters who you will remember from the ECW, Shane Douglas dropping the belt down, Dennis Carluza is there, Ted Arcidi, and the other guy with Jim Wilson on this is Thunderbolt Patterson, who, felt that, because of the color of his skin, he got depushed. There was racial issues in there. So it's pretty interesting. But yeah, I just think, the whole Jim Wilson incident in all, because kind of it's kind of funny. It's a prelude to what happened with the WWF in 1992 with Pat Patterson, which, forced him to resign due to the fact, this incident got so much heat when, he made sexual advances to Randy Orton's cousin, Barry O, and one of the short-lived announcers who eventually had to quit his job because of this. They were on, Donahue, Larry King, where else? Abe 2020, what have you not, those type of deal shows, arguing about this, and I just thought it was, funny in the the greatest family DVD that they put out. You see a little clip of Barry O, and I'm like, I'm just shocked they put Barry O in there, just, since this guy sued and put such much negative press to WWF, at that time frame. But anyways, that's just my thoughts about Jim Wilson. I think more other thing that, significance that Jim Wilson did in his career was he put out a book, which I'm trying to get off of Amazon. It seems pretty interesting, where he, basically expels the evils of pro wrestling. Most of it's true. Some of it maybe some grudges he has against some people. What have you not? Called Chokehold, where he's basically exposing the business. What have you not? He was a pretty controversial player. He was a pretty good football player too. I believe he played in the state of Georgia as well. Not sure about where he played football, but he played college ball. I'm not sure if he made it to the NFL, but he played college ball. It was pretty good. But rest in peace to get my condolences to the Wilson family. But what have you? And I guess this one, this tirade about frickin' idiot fans. I may as well just go on to an incident that took place this weekend as well in Canada, in Montreal. I believe the promotion was Titan Sport Fighting or something like that, where James Thompson, the man who was in the most watched mixed martial arts fight ever with Kimbo Slice at the first Elite XC primetime show, he was in a bout with one French Canadian mixed martial artist. I don't remember. Sorry about that. But anyways, this whole show basically had kickboxing rules, where every fight had to be standing. You couldn't take it to the ground. But in the main event, the two fighters and the referee were the only people to know that they decided to make it a full MMA bout. But the fans didn't know this. So, Thompson shot in for a takedown and took the guy down, and what the fuck is this? Let's get him up. Hey, let's get him up. Because, he's French-Canadian and whatnot. The fans are going to get pissed. So they start pelting the ring with, cans, whatever they have in their hand. Insane. I mean, that to me, I don't know how much about that is, that's definitely overreacting and idiocy, but, that's in part poor on the promotion that they didn't, announce that this fight is mixed martial art. Takedowns will be allowed. That's just my thoughts there. I've yet to read what Thompson's reply was. I've seen he's got one, but, pretty shocking thing, pretty shocking weekend, with, stupidity of fans, I have to say that, with this whole thing that took, and it's in Canada, so we're not really proving our wealth here at all. The intelligence level for us, people want to make fun of us of being, well, I think, the province of Quebec and British Columbia has proven their wealth in this one. Now, I'm saying that I've talked to a lot of people from Quebec and a lot of people from British Columbia, and I think, there's some nice, smart people there, but, well, I shouldn't say I shouldn't generalize the whole provinces there. Those fans in Quebec, for overreacting, Quebecers are pretty, diehard fans, and I guess that is, totally not their fault. That's partly the promotion. But, the British Columbia thing, that's just two morons. I shouldn't generalize the fans. I'm sorry about that. That's just two morons that don't know the difference between, a work and not a work. So, That's just my thoughts there. I've rambled a bit, but anyways, that's it for me. I'm out. Peace.